A cold Atlantic wind rolled across the deck of the transport ship, carrying the scent of rust, seawater, and a future none of the passengers trusted. Among the cluster of German women near the railing, thin coats snapping in the wind, 3 stood slightly apart, bound by fear and a faint hope that their unborn children might survive the war. Helen, the eldest at 30, kept a steadying hand on her lower back. Anna, just 22, tried to mask her nerves by focusing on her breathing. Lise, 26, and stubbornly defiant, stared at the horizon as though she could force it to reveal what waited beyond. All 3 had been swept up in the chaotic months after France fell, caught not as combatants, but as auxiliaries, clerks, and workers too close to the collapsing front. The voyage had been long and claustrophobic, thick with the smell of diesel and dread. Bunks were cramped, washed in dull light that never softened the metallic cold of the ship's interior. Though the guards rarely spoke, mistrust clung to the air like moisture on steel. Rumors flowed freely. America starved its prisoners. America forced them into brutal labor. America hated Germans with a moral certainty that left no room for mercy. Others whispered the opposite, that the Americans were soft, indulgent, even wealthy enough to waste food. But no one truly believed kindness awaited them. When the cry went up that land had been sighted, the women surged toward the railing. A strip of coastline emerged through the morning haze, sunlit, steady, impossibly whole. No smoke, no rubble, no bomb scars, just a quiet, foreign land, as though war had never touched it. Helen felt her breath catch. Anna pressed a hand against her belly as the baby shifted. "He can feel it," she whispered. Lise muttered that it didn't matter. Nothing good waits for us there. As the harbor grew clearer, American guards lined the deck with rigid discipline. Their expressions gave nothing away. The women searched for cruelty, mockery, contempt, any sign the stories might be true. Instead, they found only tired, controlled, almost indifferent men who had escorted countless prisoners before. Helen told herself their stillness was professionalism, yet her pulse betrayed her doubt. The ship groaned as it docked, sunlight spilling across the deck. Warmth washed over the women, startling in its gentleness. The gangway dropped with a metallic groan. Lise hesitated, but Anna nudged her forward. "If we hesitate," she whispered, "they'll think we're hiding something." Helen stepped first, each footfall echoing with the pounding of her heart. Their boots hit the gangway, swallowed by the vast hush of the harbor. Everything appeared impossibly clean. Crisp white uniforms of dock workers, neatly stacked crates, trucks waiting in orderly rows. The stillness unnerved them. No shouting, no chaos. The absence of hostility felt like a trap. Then they noticed the nurses, a group of Appentories, American Army nurses at the end of the line, clipboards tucked under their arms, expressions calm and focused. They looked like they belonged in hospitals untouched by war, not at the edge of a processing station. One nurse's gaze lingered on the pregnant bellies, her expression shifting slightly, not pity, not superiority, but concern. Helen's throat tightened. She didn't want concern from the enemy. Concern suggested a future she couldn't predict. The line advanced. Soldiers barely glanced at them. No one yelled. No one rushed them. A quiet efficiency carried the women forward, unraveling bits of their fear. With each contradictory detail, Helen felt something new take root inside her. Doubt. Anna sensed it too. Her grip on Helen's arm loosened. Only Lise clung to suspicion, her eyes darting from soldier to nurse with growing confusion. When they reached the front, a nurse signaled a soldier with a snap of her fingers, speaking in crisp English. These 3, first, prenatal. None of the women understood the words, but the tone struck them. Firm, purposeful, protective, not angry, not vengeful. Soldiers stepped aside, and Helen felt her stomach drop. Anna's mouth parted in disbelief. Lisa's shoulders sagged as her certainty drained away. For the first time since boarding the ship, the women realized they might not be walking toward brutality at all, but something far more disorienting. The nurse guided them to a waiting medical building. Warm scents of bread drifted inland, hitting them with sudden tenderness. A soldier held the door open, his indifference startling. Stepping inside, Helen felt a realization pierce her. The truth might be more frightening than any rumor. The enemy they feared might not exist in the form they had been taught. Inside, the bright, sterile light erased the grays of the crossing. Helen stepped forward first, breath catching at the scent of disinfectant mixed with something faintly floral. Anna followed, one hand steadying her belly. While Lise lingered, suspicion sharpened by the unfamiliar calm. A nurse gestured them into an examination room. Helen approached the scale, exposed under bright lamps. Each movement of the nurse was practiced. Precise, no scorn, no cruelty, only focused professionalism. Anna remembered her last checkup in Germany. Rushed, chaotic, clinics overflowing, supplies dwindling, windows rattling from distant air raids. This room felt like another world entirely. Lise bristled as the nurse took her blood pressure. She muttered in German, insisting the Americans were pretending. But the nurse's indifference disarmed her more effectively than force ever could. Towels and gowns were offered, shower stalls pointed out. Helen stepped inside, letting warm water wash weeks of filth down the drain. Anna followed, tears slipping silently as she realized her body had been treated as worth caring for. Lise emerged last, her suspicion softened, though not gone. When trays of food arrived, eggs steaming, bread crackling, milk cold, Anna froze. Helen took the first bite, chewing slowly, swallowing with a tremor that revealed more than words could. Even Lisa's skepticism wavered. The subtle gestures, the unexpected kindness, disoriented them more than any hostility could. Later, a calm soldier escorted them for a slow walk around the camp. They saw orderly work, quiet laughter, gardens, painting crews. Helen noted the absence of barking dogs, shouted orders, fear. The camp ran on rules, not cruelty. As the sun set, the women stood near their doorway, watching the sky melt into orange and violet. Helen felt an unfamiliar sense of safety settling over her. Anna rested a hand on her stomach, whispering to her child. Lise, unconvinced, nonetheless leaned closer, unwilling to face what came next alone. Then the guard appeared, holding an envelope marked with a German return address. Helen's breath hitched as she unfolded the letter. It was from her sister. Ration cards running out, neighbors gone, their childhood home destroyed, their mother recovering in a crowded hospital. But buried in the sorrow was one line that pierced her heart. Your child must be born somewhere better. The words felt like a fragile blessing. Anna squeezed her arm gently. Lise remained silent, gazing at the dark horizon, holding her own ghosts. Later, the guard returned with a clipboard. Lights out soon, he said gently. Then, hesitating, he added, Tomorrow, the camp commander wants to meet you, all three of you. The women remained still, uncertainty heavier than fear. Whatever awaited them would unravel the delicate sense of safety they had begun to build. And none could guess if the next sunrise would bring reassurance or the first true cost of the unexpected kindness they had been shown.
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.